Hey y'all, it's Bailey with Reclaim Grays. I'm so happy you clicked on this video. Today we are just finishing some projects in the ever-growing to-do pile. I got a few of them done. The pile is this much smaller now. I love how every project came out. If y'all can hear that in the background, Roscoe's going crazy. He's got the zoomies right now. I just got home early from work, so he's extra excited. We're expecting some snow and ice tonight, and in my small town, people panic when they hear the word snow and ice. So I got off a couple hours early today, and I have a delay tomorrow. So yay. Either way, y'all let me know what project is your favorite, and we're going to get started right now. Our first project today is this set of candlestick holders. I thrifted these at a church yard sale, I believe, for $2.99 a piece. Thought that was a good deal. I would much rather they be different sizes, but they're the same size. I have already gave them a good clean, and I'm going to take them right outside my door right here and give them a coat of flat black enamel spray paint. As that is drying, I'm going to mix up some milk paint. I'm going to use the rest of this packet of olive, and then I'm going to do 2 scoops of artichoke. I always call this color avocado. I'm sorry, it's artichoke. I'm going to add a couple spoons of water. I'm trying to mix this up to a thicker consistency than normal, so I don't have to do a lot of coats. So here is how we're looking after our flat black spray paint is dry. And here's our milk paint. It is nice and thick, and that's exactly what I was wanting. And look at this gorgeous green combination. We're going to paint both candlesticks in this green, and I'm going to put the paint on pretty heavy. So again, I can just do one and a touch-up coat. And I love the character it adds when you put milk paint on in a thick manner instead of several thin coats. I'm going to dry each coat with my heat gun in between. I did this full coat, I dried it with my heat gun, and then I just came in and touched up just a few areas. Raise your hand if you got a sneak peek of our November membership video. I royally messed that up and posted it public for a couple hours. So several of y'all got to check that out, which I'm fine with. I apologize to the members about that happening, but at least y'all could get a sample of, what the membership video is like. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, I have YouTube memberships available, and you can learn about that information down in my description box. Check that out if it sounds like something you're interested in. Back to this candle project, I am heat setting that, force drying that paint one more good time to really force that crackle and chippiness that I love. And next we're going to come in and seal these babies up. This time I'm using Fusion's Agent Wax. I'm going to work in sections and just like do the bottom of the candlestick holder first, wipe that off, and then I will just work my way up. And I'm going to do this to both of our candlesticks. This was a quick and easy project, and that's exactly what I was going for in today's video. I have some holes in my booth, and I need to get some items that are going to be good sellers and priced and put in my booth as soon as possible to get those holes filled. What do y'all think about these candlestick holders? I love the green on them with all the detail and the crackle. Y'all let me know what y'all think about these. I priced them, what did I price these for? I think I did $23 a piece. This next project is a favorite of mine. We're starting off with this wooden tote I've had in my stash for a while. We're going to get rid of that dowel handle. Just using a saw to cut it, and then I'm going to use a hammer to beat it out from the sides. They were held in by a nail, so I did chip off some wood trying to get these out, but it's not a big deal. We're going to end up covering that in a later step. You will see what I'm talking about here in a minute. But for right now, we just need to remove these. I probably paid like $1 or $2 for this tote, and then $1 or $2 for this old wooden level. Oh my God, I love this. Just the patina of that wood on that level is just gorgeous to me. I'm going to measure in between this section right here, and I'm going to transfer that measurement to my wooden level. I want to leave some end pieces, so you're going to see me make my first mark, like my 0 mark right there, and then my other mark right there. That way we have these 2 end pieces that are going to be left once we cut those lines. The main part of the level, of course, is going to go in the center of our wooden tote, and the end pieces are going to be nailed and glued to the ends of the wooden tote. I thought this was a really cute look. Before attaching the level, I want to get the wooden tote prepped. So I'm going to give it a quick blow off with my little handy leaf blower here. And then I'm going to give the piece a good sand to get rid of any splinter areas. This wood was not the smoothest. Then I did a little bit of hand sanding just to round some edges over, just to kind of give it a more old appearance. And then I'm going to give the piece a good wipe down before I come in with my shellac-based primer and give this piece 2 good coats. Before we paint, I want to use my Sweet Pickins beeswax bar on the edges and some on the flat surfaces as well. This is going to make our paint not adhere to this wood, and it's going to distress back beautifully. I had some leftover paint from my first project, the candlestick holders, and I did not want that to go to waste. So we're going to be using that on this wooden tote. Milk paint is you can't really store it. Once you mix it up, you really need to use it. You can put it in an airtight container and store it in the fridge, your refrigerator, but it will only stay for maybe 24 hours. 48 if you're lucky. So you only need to mix up what you plan on using. I love this green, so of course I'm not going to waste it. I know y'all get sick of me painting things green, but it sells and I love it, and it's my favorite color. Y'all will be pleasantly surprised I paint something other than green in this video as well. So yay, Bailey. Roscoe's eating a bug in the background. I just noticed that. Either way, we're going to paint this tote inside and out. I'm going to leave the underneath side plain for the moment. Here is how we're looking at their 1.5 coats, I would say. Those darker areas you see is where we applied the beeswax bar. They still look wet. That is where you need to make sure you sand so you can get the wax off and the paint that did not absorb into the wood off. And this distress technique is gorgeous on this wooden tote. I have struggled with the beeswax bar in the past, but this one, it really worked for me. Now it's time to add our level. Of course, I didn't want to get any paint on this, so that's why I chose to save it until after we were done painting. I'm going to use some Titebond Quick and Thick on the ends of our level. Wipe that, smoothly. Wipe what's on your finger, on your pants. And we're going to shove this in the center of our wooden tote. I'm going to kind of reposition the camera here so you can see me, and I'm using my battery operated brad nailer. This is like a 18 gauge nailer DeWalt, and I'm going to shoot some brad nails down through the tote into the wooden level. This nail kind of bounced on me because it hit the other nail, so I had to pry that out and regroup, and it did take a chunk of wood off, but we're going to cover that up in here in a second with this piece. This is the end of the wooden level we cut off. I'm going to add some glue to that piece as well and shoot a couple brads in it to hold it until the glue dries. We'll make sure I clean off any glue squeeze out before it dries so we don't have to worry about seeing that in our finished project. And here we are 24 hours later. I let that glue dry very well before coming in and clearing or sealing this piece up. I decided not to paint the bottom of this tote because I felt like it would be more authentic looking if I used my agent wax to stain the bottom of it and just look at that beautiful wood once you add that agent wax. It's gorgeous. I'm going to use that same Fusion agent wax to seal up the rest of the tote inside and out. I did not put any of this wax on the level part though. And that is it for this project. If you are interested in any of the milk paint you see me using in today's video, you can find that available on my website, and that information is always linked down in the description box. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this project. I absolutely love it. It's probably my favorite from today's video. But then again, I got a couple other favorites. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this one. I priced it for $47. Our next project is a pretty simple one. I picked up this handmade bench for free. One of my friends was cleaning out his older friend's building, and this had been sitting up there probably for 50 years. He had a portable sawmill and cut up like tree trunks, and I'm pretty sure he made this piece. So this piece was free to me. It was really, really dirty. So I'm going to start by giving it a good clean. I'm checking out the bottom of it, and I can see this is really, really rough wood on the underneath side of this bench. So I'm going to be extra careful not to get any splinters. Then I was looking at this foot over here. Like, it looked like something had gnawed on it. It's not termites. I think it was like a dog or cat or something. I'm not sure, but it's got to go. So I slapped some 120 grit sandpaper on my orbital sander, and I want to start sanding this smooth. I'm not trying to make it perfect. I'm just trying to get rid of the noticeable claw marks and bite marks, whatever they are, marks, and just smooth it out. I went all the way around this leg until I felt like it was good enough to move on to the next step. I dusted off that area, and now we need to come in with some stain because we need to try to get that sanded area back to a similar color as the rest of the bench. So I'm using dark walnut here. I just did one good coat, wiping it on with a little sponge brush, and then I will wipe off any excess once I get done putting the stain up there. And this was a pretty darn good match, if I say so myself. I wanted to show y'all this area right here. This is how you can see that it's handmade from like a sawmill. The blade was coming here and stopped. I don't really know exactly what happened, but I'm not going to sand this smooth. It would take forever, and it's just character at this point. So we're going to, not really do anything about that. I am not painting this piece. We're going to use Restore a Finish in the walnut shade, a little disposable brush, and a Scotch pad. The directions of Restore Finish say do not pour it on the surface, but I don't know. I didn't listen to that with this project. I am just trying to brush it out as an even layer as possible, though. Really going to work it into that wood with this brush, especially for the underneath side. Since it's so splintery, I could not use the Scotch pad. But for the legs, any smooth areas, I'm going to use the Scotch pad to apply the Restore Finish. Especially on this top, just look at those peg legs coming through the top. You can really see that coming back to life using this Restore Finish. It's just like giving it a nice drink to some thirsty wood. I'm going to apply this pretty liberally, and I'm going to let it sit on the item for about 10 to 15 minutes before I come in and wipe any excess oil off with a microfiber rag. And that is all for this project. I picked up this piece for free. It needed some love, some attention, but no paint this time, and I absolutely love how it came out. I priced it for $79, and it sold the same day I took it to my booth. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this piece. This project is super simple. I picked this piece up from Salvation Army March 15th of 2025, so that's how long it has been staring at me on my to-do pile. Gathering projects to try to get done. I said, you know what? It's time for me to get this piece done. So that's why it's in today's video. It needed a good clean. I'm using a brush to kind of clean out the details of this piece because sitting in my workshop from March until now, the piece is dusty. After the cleaner is dry, I'm coming in with some Dixie Belle Iron Patina paint. I just picked me up a new jar of this. And y'all, I thought I had some sprays in my stash, and you'll see that in a later step. I needed to grab some sprays when I grabbed this, but I thought I had some. Either way, we're going to give this piece 2 good coats, pouncing up and down. This first coat, just really work on trying to get everything covered up, and the second coat, we'll come back to that in just a minute. If you are wondering what Salty Dog 2 is, it is the name of my boss man's boat. I made him a Christmas ornament, and I was just practicing writing it out before I wrote it on the ornament. Either way, I didn't know if y'all seen that or not. Here I am putting on the second coat. When you're putting on the final coat of the iron patina paint, you need to make sure it's wet before you come in with your patina sprays. Now, this is like almost empty. This is the green patina spray. I could not get the spray nozzle to work. I put a different spray nozzle in there and I couldn't get it to work. So I'm using a paintbrush and I'm going to slather it up there. I'm going to try to get out every last drop in this and so I can get some kind of effect on this piece. Y'all, I forgot to record me spraying it with a clear coat and adding the velvet ribbon, but this is the final project. I think it turned out all right. I think the velvet ribbon kind of ties it together. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this one. I'm going to price it for probably $15.95. Alrighty, let's get started on our last project. This piece I picked up half off from Salvation Army. It's been sitting in that to-do pile for a while because it had a missing finial up top. So my thought was, let me just remove one from the bottom and put it up top. But then, of course, we're going to have one missing from the bottom. So I knew I needed to get rid of all of the little feet so it could sit flat on a table surface. And I feel like it would look a lot better. But we have these screws we got to work around or work with. We got to figure them out because the screws got to go. So whenever I took those off, the whole thing pretty much fell apart. But before I start putting things back together, let's get rid of these screws on the bottom. Luckily, they were just like a double-sided screw, so I could take a pair of pliers and unscrew them very easily. So now we can start putting the piece back together. Since those pieces were removed, we removed the pieces off the bottom, nothing was holding this piece together anymore. So I needed to use glue to secure everything. So pretty much anywhere that's going to make contact with another surface, I'm coming in with my super glue and accelerating spray to glue all the pieces and parts back together. All right, so now we're all glued back and put together. Here's what we're looking like. I like that nice flat bottom a whole lot better. I paid $2.50 for this piece, if y'all are wondering. So now let's get this baby cleaned up. I'm just using a Windex here. I'm going to make sure it's really clean because I do not plan on scuff sanding or priming this piece with shellac. I just want to test something out. This piece does have a nice coat, like clear coat over it, over the wood surface. So I'm hoping when I use milk paint over it, we'll get some chipping of the paint. First, let's come in and remove that little latch with those tiny screws and set them off to the side so we do not lose them. Surprise, surprise, we are coming in with Sweet Pickins milk paint in the color Lantern, which is black, not green. Are y'all proud of me? I'm going to come in with like 3 scoops of powder, and I'm going to do 3 lighter scoops of water so I can make my mixture a little bit thicker. I'm just trying to do 1 coat on this piece. So I have the glass taped up front and back of the door, and we're going to start painting. Like I said, only prep I've done to this piece is clean it. I didn't sand, I didn't prime, none of that like usual, and we're going to see how it does. I know from using Lantern before that it doesn't crackle much, but you can get some really beautiful distressing with this color, especially with this gorgeous wood tone underneath. So right now we're just going to get everything painted. I'm going to just paint the exterior of the piece. I'm not going to paint on the inside, just the inside of the door, not the inner shelf area. This lantern color covered beautifully. I just needed one coat and our coverage was perfect. So now I'm going to come in since my paint is dry, and we're going to do some distressing. I'm really going to kind of accentuate the details of this piece. So all the little trimmings, the outer edges, high points, and some flat areas as well with a 220 grit sandpaper. I did have slight chipping of paint in just a few areas, but just the distressing alone was gorgeous with this black and wood tone color. After we get all of this tape removed on both sides, I should have left it on, but I got a little carried away with myself. We're going to seal this piece up. I'm going to use my Fusion's Agent Wax. It's really going to deepen that black color so well. And y'all, my work surface is looking pretty bad right now. I'm at my work table. It's like filled up. I probably couldn't put one more project on it. So y'all don't mind that. I'm working on several projects in between other projects drying, and Roscoe's right here at my feet wanting a treat. Nothing usual over here. Nothing unusual over here. That's it for this piece. I did add the hardware back, and I really love this piece. I'm glad I chose black instead of green, but you know what? Green would have been really pretty on it too. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this one. I'm either going to price it for $43 or $47. Y'all let me know what y'all think. And that is all I have for you today, my friends. I really hope you enjoyed today's projects, watching as I try to work through this to-do pile. I love how each one of them came out. I think the bench and the green toolbox were my favorite, but y'all let me know what y'all's favorite were. If you got any inspiration from today's video, hit that like button. Definitely leave a comment down below and consider subscribing if you have not already. Thank y'all so much for being here today, and I'll talk to y'all in the comments. Bye.